The red dust of the early morning swept across the dry field as the sun's first light broke over the horizon. And in that moment, Maya stood at the edge of what felt like the end of everything she'd known. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and asked herself, what if this is the moment I find out who I really am? Maya Khan had grown up in a quiet town perched on the edge of a desert. Her father, a gentle schoolteacher, believed in stories and the power of belief. Her mother, fierce and kind, had taught Maya to plant seeds, both in the garden and in the heart. The seeds of hope. For years, Maya lived a good life: school, friends, laughter, and the simple rhythm of everyday joys. But deep inside, she carried a whisper of something more. A voice telling her she was meant to reach beyond the curve of the sand dunes outside her town. When she turned 22, Maya's father fell ill suddenly. What began as a cough turned into something more serious, and soon the family's savings were swallowed by treatments, hospital fees, and travel back and forth to the big city hospital. The garden in their backyard wilted, the paint of their house chipped, and the laughter in the house grew quieter by the week. Maya watched her father's strong hands that used to write lesson plans, tap softly on the chalkboard, now tremble when he held the cup of tea. Her mother carried the burden but stood tall, iron in her voice whispering, "We will find our way." But Maya could see the fear. She could feel it sitting heavy on her chest each night when the lights went out. Then the job offer came, a small position in the city, in digital media, one that would involve leaving her town behind, leaving her father's side frequently. It wasn't glamorous, but it had steady pay, and possibly the chance to build something of her own. Maya wrestled with guilt. If she accepted it, she would be away. But if she didn't, they risked losing everything. In one of those long nights, Maya's father, with a raspy smile, squeezed her hand and said, "Go. Build your dream. We will hold the fort here." Her mother nodded silently beside him. It stunned Maya. She had always been their protector, not the other way around. So she packed her bags, kissed the cracked paint of her childhood home, and stepped into city chaos. The noise, the rush, the faces, so many, felt alien. Her new office was modest: one small desk, a worn-out chair, and a monitor that flickered at odd times. Her co-workers were younger, sharper, louder, and she felt invisible. After long days, she trudged home to a small rented room, the city lights mocking her longing for the desert's quiet. A turning point came one evening, when her father's condition worsened. She left work early, rushed to the hospital. He was awake but weak. He reached for her and said, softly, "You are meant for this, but don't forget you are meant for us, too." The weight of those words hit her like a thunderbolt. She realized the battle she was fighting, between duty to home, and duty to self. Maya took a breath and made a decision. She wouldn't sacrifice one for the other. She set up a schedule. 2 days in the city worked. 1 day she would return to her father and mother in the town. She reached out to neighbors, old classmates, a young volunteer nurse who had helped her father. They formed a small circle of support. The wilted garden. She got an identity for it. Every time she returned, she planted a seed. Carrots, marigolds, mint. She used what little time she had to nurture the soil and lift her father's spirits. In the city, she started to shine. Not because she ignored her pain, but because she used it. She told stories of people like her father in her digital media role: teachers, caretakers, those often unseen. Her empathy became her strength. The flickering monitor no longer seemed to mock her. It became a window. Her father improved slowly. Some days were setbacks. One night the machines beeped and the doctors said the word Maya dreaded: complication. Her mother held her while she cried. But then, after long weeks, he came home. Weaker, yes, but home. And there, in that returning home moment, Maya felt the power of what she had built, not just for herself, but for the ones she loved. Then came the big moment. The digital series Maya produced, highlighting voices of everyday heroes: teachers, janitors, caregivers, single mothers. Won recognition. She invited her father onto a video call when the notification came. "Congratulations, Maya, you've won." His eyes shone. She looked at him through the screen and thought of the dry garden, the hospital corridor, the city bus ride home. It all connected. In the aftermath, Maya expanded her project. She built a community platform, reached back to her hometown, created short documentaries about people from there. The wilted garden bloomed again. Flowers, vegetables, laughter returned. Her father taught again, slowly, part-time. Her mother opened a small tea stall beside the school. The kids loved her biscuits and warm smiles. Finally, standing at the edge of the desert once again, Maya inhaled the warm air, feeling the sun on her face. She realized that the voice inside her, telling her there was more, wasn't about leaving everything behind. It was about carrying the roots with her, even as she soared. She had learned the truth, that strength and vulnerability can live in the same heart, that to step forward doesn't mean to abandon home, that service to self and service to others can go hand in hand. Maya turned to look at the rising sun and whispered, "This is only the beginning." And she knew it. May this story inspire you, that when you step into the unknown, you don't lose what you came from, you bring it along, you honor it, and you make space for it to grow. May you find your voice, may you plant your seeds, and may you become the hero of both your small world and your big dream.